blindfolded. Everything was dark. Saw the wickedness in the world and all the cold.
Peace, 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 family. How's everybody doing? I hope you all are having a wonderful day so far. My name is Keisha. I'm the owner of A Way of Life. And today we are going to be talking about the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction happening April 12th. But I think we'll begin to feel this for the Pisces portal opening. So Pisces season, March even. Pisces is the 12th sign. And the end of the age of Pisces and the beginning of the age of Aquarius. We can be getting a higher perspective for growth here, especially spiritual growth and soul growth even. We can be letting go of things, new things to come in so that new things can come in. I really feel like this is like on a bigger scale, like the kind of grand ending, you know? And it's going to be a long period of time. We have a lot of releasing to do, especially with the Pluto return energy starting on the 20th of this month. And so we're going to see this, I think, really over the next 2 years of signs of endings so that new things can come in. And they'll both be happening simultaneously. And I know I've spoken about this before on various different levels about, you know, dimensional connecting to other dimensions and ancestral lines, bloodlines, and other parts of ourselves that are coming in now to kind of give us gems, you know, give us some signs and messages on where to go, what to do next. And so there's kind of that 5D dynamic playing out here as we move into Aquarius, which on the high vibration is 5D energy. And that's not to say that this is going to be, this kind of higher vibration is going to be for everybody right away. But I do think ultimately that we're all going to get to that level. I do believe that very strongly. And people are going to experience that in various different ways, even if that means a death in this time, at this time, to come back and be reborn into a higher level of self. Now, that's getting real deep. I know some people may not really be ready to hear and experience that, but I really feel like that's happening on a deeper level. And so, please, family, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notifications bell so that you can be notified every time we go live. We love and appreciate you in advance for all your support. Yeah, man, I really think this is going to be a deep energy. To be honest with you, I don't think that we can cover every kind of experience that Pisces is going to bring in one setting. We'll be here for hours and hours and hours. And so what I will remind everybody of is that I did do a video on Jupiter conjunct Neptune for the yearly videos for 2022. And there I kind of talked about the cycles, the last time these kind of things happened, the last time we're connecting to this type of energy, the history of it, the world view of it. You know, I did the mundane astrology of it and the things that can be happening at this time. I'm not going to touch too much into all of that, nor will I be repeating it, but I totally would go back and refresh and remind yourself, because I definitely talked about the oil in that video, because Neptune rules oil. And now look at what we have going on with Russia. And I'm not, again, I'm not going to get into the fear mongering, but I think if you already know what I'm talking about, you can really begin to see how what I was saying has the possibility to play out here. And so you just want to be mindful, family. Protect yourself, love on your family, end cycles. If there are people out there you got problems with in any way, shape, or form, it's a really good time to end all of that. Even if you can't do it physically or verbally in person, in your heart. We just had the Leo full moon, right? And so we're going into this time, we're leading into this time with our Care Bear stare, right? From the heart. You know, what love and energy can you give off to people? Even from a Pisces stance, it's all about compassion and forgiveness and unconditional love, you know, volunteering and charity in this way. And so even in that sense, you know, finding it in your heart to let go of any kind of victim mentality mindset here. I'd even say this is on a bigger scale, having to do a lot with black and white, that whole fight and argument. I was listening to Dr. Boyce Watkins, and he was talking, and it was just like, it was so profound what the story that he shared. It really made me sit and think, like, damn, do I really hold a grudge that deep? And I think we do, and I think we can all agree to that, you know. And having that conversation out loud is very important so that we're not suppressing that energy and it end up having to come up again. And so really, family, sitting down with yourself. Pisces is very internal. This is about going inward and doing the internal work, doing things behind the scenes to really, you know, let go of anything that's no longer serving you. And if I had to guess anything, you know, that white and black stuff really is at the tippity top of the list here with this Pisces energy, even with the Capricorn energy. And I talked about that all of 2020. I mean, there's not one video you can't go back to see or hear what I was talking about there. And, you know, kind of having that explanation of the 400 years of slavery. And wow, you know, we have so much to overcome from that alone. And so I say all that to say this is really a time for release and letting go, having faith and trusting in the process, learning to love again in a new way, in a healthy way, right? Even if you have to detach from things that may be on a low vibration, is not the same as being detached from something in such a way to say, you know, I dislike this person, or, you know, anything like that. It's just about protecting your energy, right? Because you understand and you've done the work and you know it's important, that is important to the process. And so I feel like just overall, depending on where people are at, there are going to be a lot of new things coming in, new challenges, even new karmic cycles. That's going to be really amazing, really, really amazing. And so on a lower vibration, this is powerlessness. Again, that victim mentality. We don't know what our choices are. The blame game, self-pity, escapism, addictions, refusing to deal with the real world without taking responsibility for things that are not working in your life, you know, being like overwhelmed, especially for people who are empaths. This might be coming up a lot. Like, again, like knowing when to detach, and lacking clarity, right? Those are some of the themes that kind of come with that lower vibration. And so, as I was mentioning, I was listening to Dr. Boyce Watkins, and he had shared something like, the only reason why we feel inferior to white people is because they're already doing well. And so when we're within the presence of them, we tend to feel like we're less than ourselves because maybe we're not in the position that they are in. But, you know, he's been in a position where he's done a lot of work, and he's gotten, he might not be like the richest man in the world, right? But he's wealthy, right? He has money. He's living in his purpose, right? And so as he's experiencing these thoughts now, being a person in his purpose, he's like, I don't wake up thinking about, you know, what white people do or don't do for him, or can do for, you know what I mean? Can or can't do for him, you know? It's more like, you know, I'm a man with a family, and sometimes we go out and do things and sometimes we don't. And if a white person just so happens to get services from me or join any of my services, or even, you know, I see them like in any kind of way, he's like, I'm not sitting up there thinking like, oh, I hate this white person, or they're better than me and I'm inferior of them. And I really like that example. He even went further to say this is how he knows that this ideology holds some truth to it, that he was with his family, all guys, watching the football game, and there happened to be one girl who was a niece. And they was all there having a good time, talking about what guys talk about, doing what guys do, right? And he said the niece just so happened to mention after the fact that, you know, she really felt like she wasn't a part of what they had going on. They were talking about things that they wanted to talk about. They were watching the football game, what they wanted to watch. And, you know, she just kind of went on to say how she just didn't feel included, even though she was there in their energy. And when you kind of take it like that and look at it from that perspective, it's like, yeah, wow, I guess, you know, that really makes sense that somebody would feel inferior or less than or uncomfortable even, you know, all these kind of lower expressions of ourselves in a group of people who may feel like they're having their life together and just have a good time, or having a good time rather. And so breaking that down into different aspects of this, literally in any part of our lives, I feel like on a grand scale, this is happening for us in ways not to further keep us in this kind of lower vibrational energy, but anytime there's a highlight of a bigger energy, what happens is it's going to show up, depending on where you are on the spectrum, it's going to show up in such a way to help you see where you need to do better and change. And again, even if it takes a long time, but trust me, everybody's taking a long time. Nobody just like has it and then all of a sudden miraculously changes. So I just wanted to put that out there. I don't think anybody thinks that, but I think sometimes when I get on here talking, because I'm a glass half full kind of gal, you know, that it could come off as such. And that is not the case. Even when you are doing great, you're still going to have challenges to come up in your life to continuously help you elevate within your best self. And that's life. You know, that's what life is all about. That is why we are here, right? And so in a sense, you know, we are always being challenged to be better. And that comes by way of our lower vibrational expressions. And so, you know, I think we're going to see a lot of that throughout this month, and really for the next 2 years, 18 months, with the South Node energy of Scorpio, which is also about just releasing and letting go. Family, before I go on any further, I really, really, really wanted to take the time out to talk about the event we are having on the 20th. I think that's tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. I don't even look at my calendar anymore. I'm recording this. This is on the 19th. So, February 20th, we're having an event on Miss Queen Dawn's YouTube channel. And it's Queen Dawn Spirit. The flyer is in my shorts and on all my other social media platforms at 7 p.m. where we're going to be talking about a lucrative opportunity for people to be able to make some money. And so I hope to see you all there if it's something that you're interested in. And then on the 22nd, Queen Dawn and I have finally finished setting up our Patreon page and our services over there. I already have the monthly horoscopes for March done. And we're going to be doing a lot more events on it. But for the most part, on the 22nd, we're just going to be going a little bit deeper into talking about exactly what is Two Dope Queens really all about. And so I hope that you can join us at that time as well. All right. And so on a higher vibration, you can be tired of doing some of these lower vibrational things that just haven't seemed to bring you any results. You know, you could be feeling like you're doing stuff and things aren't working, or you're still in a position of lack or unfulfillment or unhappiness, or, you know, you're still complaining about the things that aren't working for you, perhaps because maybe you haven't found different ways of doing things. And this is really all about mindset changing. A lot of this stuff I used to do when I worked in the prison system, where we would tell them, you know, to challenge yourself to do something different every day. If you brush your teeth with your right hand because you're a righty, do it with your left hand. If you put your shoes on, starting with your right foot because you're a righty, start with your left. You know, whatever, however it goes, you know, just try every day, once a day, to do something different. And then we're talking about a lot of subconscious, unconscious theta waves. Pisces is the ruler of theta. You know, this is the energy of right when you wake up in the morning. This is the energy that they're programming you on the television and the radio, which keeps you in why they say children pick up things so quickly. It's like that energy right before you wake up and just before you go to sleep. You are literally in a trance in that time. And that's the time when your mind, your brain picks up things, remembers things, you know, absorbs things the most, right? And so doing things like reprogramming your brain by doing mind exercises. I talk about meditation a lot and the power of manifesting and what that is. And that's, you know, always consistently keeping yourself around people, places, and things that reflect, mirror who you are trying to build your life into. Right? And that starts with when you wake up in the morning, making sure that you're doing things that, like speaking positive things into your life for that first hour, or sitting and meditating, right? So some kind of spiritual practice here. Remember, this is soul growth and spiritual growth here. And if you've already done these things, I think you're going to get initiated or recognized, or a higher level reached even, and it becomes a celebration, you know, just like the winter solstice energy that I was talking about. You could go back and listen to that video to really understand what time it is, right? That's all we're talking about or measuring when we do astrology, is we're measuring time. And so because Pisces is a 12-year cycle, you are healing something from 12 years ago. So what was you doing 12 years ago? What was happening for you in your life? What area of life in your chart does Pisces rules? For example, mine's is the 6th. And so I went from working, and I promise you, I've been working on this, I want to say a lot longer than 12 years, but on trying to get to a place where I could work from home and have my own business so that I can teach my son myself and kind of step into this economic change in mindset, right? And it's really hard. I still have a lot of work to do, but I can definitely see the initiation playing out in my life as well. And it's been very rewarding. I'm so grateful to be on this journey, and I'm looking forward to seeing what other blessings I have coming to me. And just to add to this, I don't know if I've talked about it before, but I think I've mentioned it before, that this is also a time to really understand that, like, I feel like in society, they kind of rush us through everything. So we're never really sitting down, taking our time to absorb what it is we want to learn and how to perfect that and master that, right? And from this perspective, I'm like, well, how is it that you really do that? Because this is something that I struggle with too as a double air sign. I'm like, okay, let's go. Get with the program. I'm ready to do stuff and make stuff happen, right? And I'm trying to figure out, like, at what point do you master that? How do you master that? What is it about understanding that? And this is why whenever I do the astrology now and I say is a full moon, and I'll always post like a snippet of the last new moon, which is 6 months ago that I did. And I'll say, I did this video 6 months ago. We are always family. Always family. Even if we think we're moving fast forward, we are always culminating every time we have a new moon, full moon cycle, even with these planets and their cycles, right? And so that's why I'm always suggesting that you go back. And so how do you manifest that and get disciplined in that so that you can master that? I had this one, I listened to this, this one guy, I don't want to butcher his name. His name is Achuta Baba. White dude who does astrology. I don't know what it is about him. He's very mesmerizing to listen to, but I was just listening to one of his lives and he said something that totally blew my fucking mind. He studies like the I Ching, and so he brings a lot of the I Ching into the astrology when he does stuff, and he's always like reading from a book or certain scriptures. I don't want to call them scriptures. It's not that. But like I'm just gonna call them scriptures out of his I Ching thingy. I don't really know the process, but I think you can understand what I'm trying to say. And he said whenever he this is what he does every day when the first thing he does when he wakes up in the morning, so that he kind of knows how he wants to structure and talk about the astrology. And he said, not only do I read it that day for that purpose, for that astrology, but I will reread the same book, paragraph, or scripture for a whole month. Yes, I'm pausing. That is a pausable moment. I really want y'all to just sit with that right there and think about the magnitude of what he just said. Something so small and simple, but like it's a powerful statement and something to really, really think about. And how many people are doing that? You know, and again, it really depends on, you know, like what you want out of your life. Maybe you don't want to be mastering anything, and you like being in and out of information all day, and whatever, and that's, you know, your prerogative. You do what you want to do. But for the people out there who are really sick and tired of being in that low vibrational energy, I'd really like you to take what I just said and see where you can implement that in your life. I think I talked about this in the weekly astrology for the week of March 1st. And so you guys haven't heard it yet, but because I know that was something that I mentioned for the month of March, because it is it's the luckiest month of the year. I personally think that, you know, in a sense here, what I suggested is that for that new moon in Pisces is that you start to, for that whole 30 days, or I think I said, except for the first 2 days, right? Because when we understand manifesting and manifesting under the cycles, really you want to make sure that you're, what's a good word for it? You're waiting 2 days after the thing before you do all of that, so that your manifestations are being seen and heard, right? And so in a sense, you want to make sure that you do it 2 days after the first, or is it the second? I think it's on the second, so third, fourth. And then they say it takes 25 to 28 days for you to help you, you know, change your mindset, right? And so you know, whatever it is that you want to manifest, waking up for that 30 days up until that point, to do, to say whatever that is that you wish to manifest for 30 days and see if that doesn't pan out for you on a massive level, you know? And so I'd even take it to the extent of recording it in your voice so that you are being your own reflection of positivity or whatever it is that you want to bring into your life. That might even make it more powerful. And this is just what this time is really all about. This is the, I just did a post where I listed every single thing that Pisces rules, and I'm not going to do it here in this video, but I'm going to do the Pisces new moon video tomorrow, right after this. But I'll be posting it on Monday so that people can really start to do the work and start to really think about what that is for you and what that looks like. But what I'm really going to do is list all the things that Pisces rules, so you can even know under what energy you want to do this in. And if you want to take it a step further, family, like I was saying before, I already have the Patreon set up for two dope queens, and the monthlies are already set up. Or you can do it on my Patreon, where you could get your own weekly horoscope sent to you every Saturday at 9 a.m., where you can know where this energy is playing out for you and what part of your life it's playing out for you, so you really know where even to manifest this energy directly towards. And so we can really begin to understand how to manifest what it is we want in our lives. And so I think that that's going to be an amazing opportunity for the people who are interested in taking on that type of challenge. But again, what we're talking about here is really going through a spiritual awakening, trusting in your intuition, trusting the messages that are coming to you in the process, having faith. You know, you may want to detach, and that's okay. It's again, more of an understanding of like, not like I don't want to deal with these people or these lower vibrations, but in order to see things from a higher perspective, sometimes it means you have to step back a little bit to make sure that you're seeing things clearly, correct? And so there's kind of that dichotomy being played out here, you know. And that's where we're trusting in the process and trying to do things differently, as I had mentioned, than from we normally would. I feel people will be more compassionate and show unconditional love during this time, especially for those who are going through some things. I really do think that the spiritual community and people who are already on this journey are really going to step up in a major way, whether that's through a spiritual business or practice. You know, whatever way it is, people are going to be there for people who are going through things. Even to the extent of we're going to have more, you know, going back to the cycles. We had the Jupiter and Aquarius last year. And I even want to say that we're going to see a lot more of the possibilities of that Jupiter and Aquarius energy being played out. Especially with this being ending the age of Pisces and beginning the age of Aquarius. And so if you go back to that Jupiter and Aquarius video that I did, what are you manifesting? Well, what does Aquarius rule? You know, this is new age thinking, outside of the box, innovative, creative thinking, learning how to be yourself unapologetically, but within a group. Understanding that working with the teamwork and your soul tribe, working with people of like mind, people who are on the same page as you, and understanding that in order to build a successful business, you guys know this, I talk about this stuff all the time, it takes teamwork. This is not something that you were meant to do by yourself. That is another program that has been given to us that we really undoing at this time. And so working with people to help each other build something worthwhile. I really, really think that a lot of those things are going to be coming together, even shared places, shared resources, bartering, you know, just showing the most love and affection to people in the most tremendous magical way, honestly. Like Pisces really is just beautiful in that way. Even to the extent of having Jupiter there. Jupiter is very upbeat, jovial, joyful, happy energy. And it's going to expand everything it touches, whether it's the lower vibration or the higher vibration. But honestly, this is, again, just really about accepting where you are, being open to going on an adventure, a journey. And maybe you don't have all the answers. You know, maybe you don't. But trusting that this is where you're meant to be and this is what you're meant to be doing. So you may be seeing how far you've come and learning to manage your energy and gain boundaries. You may be changing where you give your power outside of yourself. You may see how you gave your power away by looking up to someone outside of yourself. You may be seeing how you've been programmed to think that God is outside of you. We are gods. You guys know this. I talk about this all the time. And just going back to looking at people outside of you is, remember, where we want people to reflect us. So it's not like in a negative sense, right? This was really going towards how people idolize Hollywood or people in Hollywood, right? And we kind of have, and they're not like really teaching us great skills of progression and spiritual growth and things of that nature all the time, right? or in the way that we really need to. And what I think we're going to begin to see from the separation is like, yeah, I idolize this person, but how was I, again, putting it into action to make it be a part of who I am and turning it into my own kind of thing? You know what I mean? This is not from a negative perspective. It's not to say that, you can't idolize your people, your famous people that you may like. Not saying that, but definitely making sure that you're not doing it to your detriment, where you like haven't spent any time seeing that within yourself. I remember I did this live with Laren. I think it was the last live we did. It was quite some time ago. I think it was last year sometime. And I remember talking to him about this, that we kind of give our power away to people and not really understand that we're doing that so much that, as the people are the creators of this world, we make famous people famous, right? And so in what way are they giving back to us the same energy, right? There's got to be that level of give and take and an expression of gratitude and gratefulness, and even like passing down the baton, if you will, understanding that there are, I think this is what Saturn would want me to say, even though this is not a Saturn video, family. But Saturn's been playing a really big role, really since 2019, on, getting more structured and understanding the passing down of knowledge and information, so that we don't have to keep repeating the past. And there isn't any of that. When you're giving your power away to somebody who's not giving back to you or looking out for you, it's just like you just give them all their energy. They get all this fame, and now it's power and control dynamic. They have a certain power over you. That is not healthy. The only kind of healthy relating you want in your life is when you have somebody who's not only that you are so completely mesmerized by, but you're so completely mesmerized by them because they give you everything you absolutely are looking for in your life. And they're helping you grow and evolve and manifesting that in real time. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. We create our reality, and we take away, if we take away all of the programming, what do you have? What's left for you? If these systems and structures fall today, and you believed in them and followed them, like going to work, being on the system, good Lord, could you imagine that people who are on the system have it, I think, the worst? They're completely and totally numb and blinded to the fact that they have completely given their power away. Now they don't know anything. They have no skills, no knowledge, they don't understand how to take care of themselves. They don't have a budget, and they don't what I'm trying to say and where I'm going with this, right? And so really, family, this is about acknowledging who you are, what kind of power you have, and that you have to do the work in order to make that dream a reality. Once you know who you are, then you take the steps on holding yourself accountable for how that dream is or isn't being played out in your life. All right, family, that's what this is all about. And I do think that we're all going to get to a place of where we ultimately want to be, again, in the most magical ways that I don't even think, if I told you an example, that would solidify what the universe has in store for you. As usual, family, I hope you found this